When humans declared war, the Galactic realized it had gone too far. The sun was just rising over the human border colony on a small planet called Veridian 5. The sky glowed with soft orange light, and the colony's buildings reflected it, making everything look calm and peaceful. Children laughed in the streets, merchants sold their goods, and workers were busy preparing for the day. No one knew that this calm would end in a way that would change humanity's place in the galaxy forever. In the council chambers far from Veridian 5, leaders of the Galactic Empire were discussing human colonies. They sat in tall, shining chairs that looked more like thrones than anything else. They spoke in careful, polite words as though they were above anger or fear. "Humans are small," said one alien, its voice smooth and cold. "They cannot fight. They will obey our demands like always." Others nodded in agreement. They believed humans were weak, fragile, and easy to control. Back on Veridian 5, Commander Alex Carter watched the horizon through a window in the main control tower. He had been a soldier for over 20 years, serving in both defense and exploration. His brown hair was slightly graying, and lines had formed around his eyes from years of stress and responsibility. He did not smile often, but today, the tension in his chest made it impossible to relax. He had received a secret message from the Human Defense Network overnight. The Alien Council had ordered the complete seizure of Veridian 5's resources. The message was clear. Humans were to be treated as pawns, not as equals. Alex knew this was different from past conflicts. In earlier disputes, humans had often been ignored or pushed aside, but this was no small incident. The aliens planned to erase the colony. Every building, every facility, every person would be gone by the time anyone else could respond. The words hit Alex like a physical blow. He looked around the control tower. Around him, technicians and officers were working, unaware of the full scale of the threat. He pressed a communicator to his mouth. "Emma," he said quietly. Emma Brooks was the chief strategist on Veridian 5. She had sharp eyes and a calm voice which often made people trust her advice immediately. "Emma, are you receiving me?" Loud and clear, Alex. "What's the situation?" she replied. Her voice was steady, but Alex could hear the concern underneath. "They are coming for the colony. The council has decided to take everything. They will not leave anything behind. We have a small window. We need to prepare or Veridian 5 will be lost," Alex said, his voice low but firm. Emma paused for a moment, processing the information. "We cannot fight them head-on. Our forces are too small," she said. "We need to evacuate civilians first. Then we can try delaying actions until reinforcements arrive." Alex nodded. He did not answer aloud. Instead, he looked out at the horizon, imagining the alien fleets already moving across space toward them. The sun continued to rise, casting light on a world that might not see another day. In the streets below, life continued as usual. People laughed, shopped, and went about their routines, unaware that the fate of their homes was being decided far away in council chambers and strategy rooms. Alex felt a surge of anger. The aliens thought humans would run, hide, or beg for mercy. They were wrong. Humans had survived worse than this before. Humans had faced extinction, disaster, and betrayal, and they had always endured. In the next hour, Alex and Emma began organizing the evacuation. They called in every transport ship, every shuttle, and every cargo vessel that could carry civilians off the planet. Volunteers helped with loading supplies, children were paired with guardians, and families clung to hope. Despite the fear, the human spirit was visible everywhere. No one panicked. Humans moved with purpose, determined to protect their own. As they worked, Alex received another communication, this time from John Hale, a military commander stationed on a neighboring planet. "Alex, I'm reading the fleet movements. They're faster than expected. You may have less than 12 hours before they arrive," John said. His voice was serious, almost tight with tension. "We'll manage," Alex replied. He did not say it was impossible. Humans did not think in terms of impossibility, they thought in terms of solutions. "Emma, double the transport rotations. John, if you can send a diversion squad, do it. Slow them down any way you can. We cannot afford delays." Back on the Galactic Council planet, the alien leaders watched their monitors, expecting panic. They saw human ships moving, humans organizing, and humans preparing defenses. The aliens frowned. Their calculations had assumed chaos, but humans moved with discipline, strategy, and calm. It confused them. "Why aren't they scared?" One alien whispered, more to itself than anyone else. "They should be weak. They should collapse." Another responded, "We underestimated them. Perhaps we misjudged their ability to survive." This was the first crack in the Empire's confidence. Humans were small, they thought. Humans were fragile. Yet here, across hundreds of kilometers of space, humans were proving otherwise. On Veridian 5, Alex watched a young boy struggle to lift a crate of supplies. He rushed to help him, lifting it easily and placed it where it needed to go. The boy looked up, eyes wide, and said, "Thank you, sir. We're going to be okay, right?" Alex smiled, a faint and tired smile. "We are going to do everything we can," he said. Inside, he felt the truth. Humans were more than okay. Humans never gave up, not when the odds were against them. Emma came up beside him. "We should check the last transport schedules," she said, her voice quiet. She did not look at Alex, but he knew she was thinking the same thing. If the aliens arrived before the evacuations finished, many lives would be lost. They moved through the control tower, checking lists, confirming ships, and coordinating ground teams. Every human there, every technician, every volunteer acted with purpose. It was not heroism in the flashy sense. It was steady, reliable, intelligent action. This was human strength. Humans did not need to be loud to be dangerous. Hours passed. The sun climbed higher and the shadows shrank. In space, the alien fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel. Thousands of ships, gleaming with alien technology, moved toward Veridian 5. The humans monitored them, calculating times, routes, and weaknesses. No one panicked. Alex knew the aliens assumed humans would flee, that humans would be afraid, that humans would beg for mercy. They had made a mistake. On the streets, families boarded shuttles. Children waved goodbye to friends. Merchants packed what they could carry and joined the lines. Everywhere, humans acted with dignity, care, and determination. This simple human courage was invisible from a distance, but it radiated power in a way the aliens could not comprehend. Alex received a final message from John Hale. "The diversion squad is in place. We have slowed them down, but they are fast. Time is short." "Understood," Alex replied. He turned to Emma. "The civilians are loaded. Now we prepare the defenses." Emma nodded. "We do what we must." They moved to the command center, activating shields, monitoring sensors, and readying the small defense fleet they had. Every human in the room understood what was happening. They were not going to beg for mercy. They were not going to flee. They were going to defend their home, their families, and their people. In the council chambers of the Galactic Empire, the alien leaders watched, still expecting chaos. The screens showed humans calm, prepared, and united. The council murmured among themselves, confused. "They should be afraid," one said. "Why aren't they afraid?" The answer was simple, though the aliens could not see it. Humans had learned long ago that fear could be faced. Humans had learned that survival meant preparing, acting, and protecting those you love. Fear could be met, handled, and used as strength. It was not weakness. It was power. As the alien fleet approached Veridian 5, Alex looked out one final time over the horizon. The orange sun shone bright, the streets were emptying into transports, and the humans on the planet were ready. He knew this was only the beginning. The war would be difficult and many would suffer. But humans had made a choice. They would not be crushed, they would not bow, and they would not surrender. And that was a mistake the Galactic Empire had made, because humans were not weak. Humans were relentless, patient, and strong. Humans had faced extinction before, and each time they had come back stronger. As the first alien ships entered the planet's orbit, Alex spoke into the communicator, his voice calm but steady. "They've arrived. Let's show them what it means to push humanity too far." On Veridian 5, the sun rose higher, lighting the planet, the humans, and the future they would fight to protect. The calm before the storm was not fear. It was preparation, and the galaxy had never seen anything like it before. The alien ships hung in orbit above Veridian 5 like silent predators. Their hulls reflected the orange light of the sun, and their weapons glowed with a cold blue energy. From orbit, the humans on the planet could see them clearly, but no one panicked. The ships were enormous, but humans had strength in ways aliens could not see. Alex Carter stood in the command center, studying the incoming fleet on multiple screens. Beside him, Emma Brooks traced ship positions with careful hands. "We cannot match them ship for ship," Alex said, his voice calm. "But we can use our speed, our knowledge of the planet, and our strategy. We don't have to win in a straight fight. We only have to survive and slow them down." Emma nodded. "We can use decoys, false signals, and atmospheric traps. If we force them to divide their fleet, we can make their numbers less dangerous." Across the planet, humans moved quickly to prepare. Engineer Lisa Moore worked with teams to modify cargo ships into fast attack vessels. Ordinary transport ships were refitted with energy shields and weapons. Civilians who had some experience with mechanics were recruited to help. Lisa smiled faintly as she tightened a panel on a ship. "We can make them stronger than they think," she said. The other engineers nodded. The work was hard, but every human understood why it mattered. In space, Captain Ben Ward led the first group of modified ships in silent formation. Their mission was to lure the alien scouts away from the colony. Ben's face was serious, but he felt the same quiet determination that all humans carried. "Remember," he said to his crew, "we are not trying to destroy them. We are trying to confuse them, delay them, and protect our people. Move carefully and trust each other." The alien scouts did not understand this. They saw small human ships moving out of orbit and assumed the humans were running. They pursued quickly, expecting an easy victory. What they did not see was the human trap. Ben's ships led them into a narrow asteroid field near the edge of the system. Sensors were placed on asteroids to create energy pulses, and hidden mines floated among the rocks. One wrong move would be disastrous for the alien scouts. Back on Veridian 5, Alex and Emma monitored the progress of the diversion fleet. Alarms occasionally rang, but humans were prepared. Every signal was a chance to learn, adapt, and respond. Civilians in bunkers and command centers helped with calculations, communications, and logistics. Even those who had never been soldiers before found courage they did not know they had. "They're entering the field," Alex said. The screens showed alien ships dodging and weaving, trying to avoid the asteroids. Suddenly, one of the ships triggered a mine. An explosion lit the space like a brief second sun. The alien ship's systems failed, and it drifted helplessly. The humans cheered quietly in the command center. It was not a victory in the traditional sense, but it was proof. Humans could fight cleverly, and even a few could slow a massive fleet. Emma pointed at the screen. "They think it's an accident. We can use that. If we make it look like their losses are random, they will hesitate, giving us more time to evacuate the colony." On the planet's surface, volunteers worked to set up defensive positions. They did not have large armies, but they had intelligence, traps, and determination. Energy shields were placed on key buildings, barricades were built, and sensors were hidden in plain sight. Children and teenagers were evacuated to safe zones, guided by calm adults. Everyone understood the plan, even if they did not fully understand the danger. Lieutenant Paul Ramirez led a group of ground forces to protect the transport lines. His team moved quickly, placing decoys and automated turrets along likely approach routes. Paul looked at the horizon where alien shuttles were beginning to descend. He grinned faintly. Humans were outnumbered, yes, but the aliens did not understand one thing. Humans did not fight like aliens expected. Humans adapted. Humans thought ahead. Humans were unpredictable in ways that made their enemies uneasy. In orbit, Ben Ward's fleet continued to lead alien ships through the asteroid field. More explosions occurred, but no human ship was lost. The humans used the asteroids not just as traps but as cover, disappearing from sensors at key moments. The alien commanders began to argue, their assumptions failing. "We cannot catch them," one said angrily. "They disappear when we think we have them." "They are too clever," another admitted, though unwillingly. They did not realize humans had prepared for this. Humans had studied alien tactics, read their movements, and learned from every past skirmish. Humans did not rely on technology alone. They relied on intelligence, observation, and adaptability. Back on the planet, Alex received news from Lisa Moore. "All transport ships are loaded. The civilians are safe on the shuttles. Now we move to the final defenses," she said. She wiped sweat from her brow but smiled. Humans worked best under pressure, and she loved seeing them rise to the challenge. Emma added, "We've also prepared the energy traps along the main access routes. If the aliens try to land too close, they will trigger them. We can slow their advance even more." The first alien shuttles entered the atmosphere, descending toward the colony. They expected little resistance, believing humans would flee or surrender. Instead, automated defenses activated. Energy pulses cut off engines, and some shuttles crashed harmlessly into empty fields. The humans did not attack aggressively. They were careful, calculated, patient. Every move was designed to protect civilians and buy time, not to destroy unnecessarily. Paul Ramirez and his team moved silently along the transport routes. They checked sensors, recalibrated energy traps, and prepared fallback positions. Humans were spread out but coordinated perfectly. They communicated through secure channels, and everyone knew the plan. Even when small alien squads approached, they were met with careful but effective resistance. Humans did not panic. Humans did not overreact. Humans acted. Back in orbit, Ben Ward received a message from Alex. "How are we doing?" he asked. "They are following your lead," Alex said. "Keep them occupied, make them waste time and resources. We cannot fight them all at once, but we can delay them long enough for the civilians to escape." Ben nodded. "Understood. Humans never fight like they should according to alien rules. They are calm, smart, and patient. I like it." As the day wore on, humans continued their clever defense. Energy traps slowed shuttles, automated turrets picked off small landing teams, and decoy ships lured alien scouts into empty space. The aliens were frustrated, their confidence slipping. They had expected an easy victory, but humans were making them struggle. Alex walked through the command center, watching his people work. Technicians, engineers, and officers moved with quiet focus. They were not heroes seeking glory. They were humans defending their home, and in that simple act they were unstoppable. Emma joined him. "They are learning slowly," she said. "Every time they lose a shuttle or a scout, they hesitate. That gives us more time." Alex nodded. "They don't understand humans." "They never do. We are small, but we survive. We are clever, but we adapt. We are patient, but we endure. That is why they will never crush us easily." On the planet's surface, civilians continued to move in shuttles toward safe zones. Parents held children tightly, and volunteers helped carry supplies. Every person understood that the world they knew could be destroyed, but no one gave up. Humans did not panic. They acted. By evening, the alien fleet had suffered significant losses. Scout ships were destroyed or disabled, shuttles had crashed, and alien commanders were arguing about strategy. They had underestimated the humans' ability to think and plan. Every hour they spent chasing decoys and avoiding traps was an hour the humans gained in evacuation and preparation. Alex watched the reports from the field. He smiled faintly. Humans had not won yet, but they had already changed the game. The aliens had expected chaos, but humans had created order. The aliens had expected fear, but humans had courage. The aliens had expected surrender, but humans had defiance. As night fell on Veridian 5, the humans paused briefly to rest. Some slept in bunkers, others on ships, but all remained alert. No one let down their guard completely. Humans were not reckless, but they were determined. They knew the fight ahead would be long, but they also knew they were not alone. Every human, every engineer, every volunteer, every soldier contributed. Every small action mattered. In orbit, Ben Ward prepared his fleet for another night of diversion. "They will learn soon," he said quietly to himself. "Humans are nothing like the aliens expected. They will never be weak, they will never give up." Back in the command center, Alex spoke into the communicator, his voice calm, confident, and steady. "Tonight we rest and repair. Tomorrow we continue. Humans do not quit, and we will not. The aliens think this is war. They will soon understand what it means to face humanity at its strongest." And somewhere in the alien fleet, the commanders frowned at their screens. Humans were not running. Humans were not panicking. Humans were fighting in a way they could not predict. The Galactic Empire had thought humanity was fragile, but they were discovering slowly that humans were not fragile at all. Humans were patient. Humans were clever. Humans were united. And humans were only getting started. The first signs of the alien landing fleet appeared at dawn. Small shuttles cut through the atmosphere, glowing faintly as they descended toward Veridian 5. The humans on the planet were ready. Sensors had already tracked every shuttle, and energy traps lay in their paths, hidden from view. Commander Alex Carter watched the screens, his hand steady. Beside him, Emma Brooks traced the shuttle routes on a holographic map. "They will try to land close to the colony," Emma said. "If they think they can catch us off guard, they are wrong." "We don't need to stop them all," Alex replied. "We only need to protect the civilians and slow them down. Patience is our weapon." On the planet's surface, Lieutenant Paul Ramirez led a team of ground defenders. Automated turrets glowed faintly, sensors hummed quietly, and small energy pulses were ready to trigger at the right moment. Paul looked out over the fields where the first alien shuttles would land. He felt the familiar mix of tension and calm that came before battle. Humans did not act rashly, but they acted with purpose. "Remember," he told his team, "we do not fight like the aliens. We do not attack wildly. We slow them down, protect the civilians, and strike only when it counts." In orbit, Captain Ben Ward maneuvered his fleet through the asteroid field once more. This time, the alien scouts had learned some of the tricks, but not all. A few ships were caught in hidden mines, while others tried to flank the human fleet. Ben's ships dodged and weaved, using the asteroids for cover and confusing the alien sensors. "They expect chaos," Ben said to his crew. "They will get strategy instead. Every move we make counts. Stay sharp." Back on Veridian 5, civilians boarded the last shuttles under careful supervision. Parents held children's hands tightly, volunteers carried supplies, and engineers ensured every ship was ready. No one panicked. Humans did not need to panic, they acted. Humans were organized, clever, and determined. Every small action mattered. As the first alien shuttles reached the planet, energy traps activated. Beams of energy cut off engines. Shuttles crashed into fields, and some drifted helplessly. The aliens had not expected this. They believed humans would flee, beg for mercy, or fight recklessly. Instead, humans were calm, prepared, and coordinated. Paul Ramirez and his team moved silently, adjusting sensors and activating turrets. When small alien squads landed, They were met with precise and controlled force. Humans avoided unnecessary fighting, disabling alien technology and forcing them to retreat. Every move was calculated. Every action protected civilians. The aliens began to hesitate. In the command center, Alex watched every screen. Reports from the ground came in one after another. Shuttles destroyed, alien squads delayed, and civilians safely in transport. The humans were not winning by brute force. They were winning by intelligence and patience. Emma Brooks pointed at a map. They are trying to flank the main colony. If we let them through, they could reach critical systems. We need to move now. Alex nodded. Prepare the secondary defenses. All turrets, traps, and diversion squads. Make sure every approach is covered. On the planet's surface, Paul led a small squad to reinforce a vulnerable area. The aliens were cautious, scanning for traps, but humans were ready. They had studied alien movements, anticipated their strategies, and adapted quickly. One alien unit approached a sensor field, unaware it would trigger a magnetic pulse. The pulse disabled their equipment, and they retreated in confusion. Paul's team did not pursue recklessly. They observed, adapted, and moved to support other positions. In orbit, Ben Ward's fleet continued to distract the main alien ships. The humans used decoy ships, false signals, and clever maneuvers to confuse their opponents. One alien commander barked orders, frustrated that their fleet could not advance as planned. Every delay gave the humans more time to evacuate civilians and strengthen their defenses. Back in the command center, Alex and Emma monitored progress. "We've bought enough time," Alex said. "The civilians are safe and our defenses are holding. Now we prepare for the next phase." Emma nodded. "The aliens will regroup. They will try something bigger. We need to be ready for anything." The alien fleet, frustrated by unexpected losses, began organizing for a stronger attack. Shuttles carried more troops, and some ships descended directly toward the colony. Humans responded with precision. Energy beams, traps, and turrets slowed their progress. Alien soldiers expected humans to panic or retreat, but the humans remained calm, organized, and efficient. Lieutenant Paul Ramirez directed his ground forces with quiet authority. Small teams moved quickly to reinforce weak points, while automated defenses covered open areas. Humans were everywhere, yet no one was in the wrong place. They acted like one organism, coordinated, disciplined, and patient. In orbit, Ben Ward's fleet engaged in hit-and-run tactics. They struck alien ships, disabled engines, and retreated before the enemy could respond effectively. The humans were not reckless. They struck only when it mattered, then disappeared. The alien fleet grew frustrated. Their expectations of human weakness were wrong. Humans were not weak. Humans were precise, patient, and united on the planet. Alex made one final check. Civilians were secure, transports were on course, and defenses were operational. He spoke quietly into his communicator. "Everything is in place. We hold here and we protect our people. The aliens will not break us." Emma responded, "They may be strong, but they are predictable. We know their patterns and we can use them. Humans always adapt." The first major clash began in earnest. Alien soldiers descended near the colony, expecting minimal resistance. Instead, they were met with energy pulses, automated turrets, and precise strikes from human squads. Small skirmishes broke out, each carefully controlled. Humans did not fight recklessly. They struck efficiently, disabled enemy units, and retreated to prepared positions. Paul Ramirez moved through the battlefield, coordinating attacks and supporting his team. "Remember," he said, "we do not fight like they expect. Slow them, confuse them, protect civilians. Every second counts." In orbit, Ben Ward directed decoy ships to draw alien attention away from the main colony. Some alien ships took the bait, chasing empty ships while humans disabled critical systems on the planet. The aliens were frustrated and confused. Their assumptions about human fear and weakness were wrong. Humans did not panic, they adapted. Alex watched reports from the battlefield. They think numbers make them strong, he said quietly. They do not understand humans. Intelligence, patience, and courage can defeat more than numbers alone. Emma added, they will try something bigger soon. We need to be ready to adapt again. The battle continued through the day. Alien forces pressed forward, but human defenses held. Automated turrets, energy traps, and carefully coordinated squads slowed every advance. Civilians moved safely in transports, shielded from the chaos. Humans did not panic. They acted with purpose, protecting each other and adapting to every new threat. By evening, the alien fleet had suffered significant setbacks. Some shuttles were destroyed, troops were delayed, and their commanders were frustrated. They had expected easy victory, but humans had shown intelligence, courage, and patience. The aliens began to realize their mistake. Humans were not fragile. Humans were clever, coordinated, and relentless. Alex and Emma gathered their teams in the command center. We have held them off today, Alex said. Civilians are safe, our defenses worked, and the enemy has been slowed. But this is only the beginning. Tomorrow they will try again. Emma nodded. We will be ready. Humans do not quit. We adapt, we survive, and we protect each other. That is why we will endure. On the planet's surface, Paul Ramirez moved through his teams, checking positions and ensuring defenses were ready for the next attack. Humans worked together seamlessly, each person contributing in a way that mattered. Small victories had been won, and the morale was high. Humans did not need celebration. They knew the fight was ongoing and they were ready. In orbit, Ben Ward prepared his fleet for another day of diversion and support. The alien commanders were angry and confused. They had underestimated humans, assuming they would be weak, fearful, or disorganized. Instead, humans had been patient, precise, and united. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. As night fell over Veridian 5, the humans rested briefly, repairing equipment, recalibrating sensors, and preparing for the next day. No one let down their guard completely. Humans were careful but determined. They understood the stakes, but fear did not control them. Courage, intelligence, and cooperation did. Alex spoke into the communicator one last time for the day. Tonight we rest. Tomorrow we continue. Humans never quit. Humans always adapt, and the galaxy will learn that humanity is not weak. Emma added quietly, they may have numbers, weapons, and technology, but we have what they cannot understand, patience, courage, and unity, and that is why we survive. The alien fleet, still above the planet, could see only humans calmly working, preparing, and defending. The first real clash had shown them something they could not understand. Humans were not fragile. Humans were not fearful. Humans were not easy to defeat. The first battle had ended, but the war had only just begun. Humans had faced extinction before. Humans had survived disasters, betrayals, and overwhelming odds. And now, they were ready to show the galaxy why they never gave up the night after the first clash was quiet, but tense. On Veridian 5, humans worked in silence, repairing damaged equipment, recalibrating sensors, and preparing for the next wave of alien attacks. Commander Alex Carter walked among the teams, observing their work. Every person moved with purpose. Civilians, engineers, and soldiers all understood that their actions mattered. Humans were patient, and this patience gave them strength. Emma Brooks stood beside him, reviewing reports from the battle. They underestimated us, she said. They think one clash can break human morale, but humans don't break. Humans adapt, Alex nodded. Tonight we repair. Tomorrow we turn their mistakes against them. They do not understand what humans are capable of. In orbit, Captain Ben Ward gathered his fleet. Scouts reported that the alien forces were regrouping, frustrated by the setbacks. The aliens believed that humans would panic or retreat, but the humans remained calm. Ben spoke to his crew quietly. They are not afraid. They are clever, patient, and united. That is why they survive. Tomorrow, we use their frustration to our advantage. On the planet, Lieutenant Paul Ramirez led teams to reinforce defensive positions. Automated turrets were upgraded, energy traps recalibrated, and sensors moved to more effective locations. Humans did not have numbers on their side, but they had intelligence, strategy, and adaptability. Each small team acted independently but coordinated with others. Every move mattered. Engineer Lisa Moore worked tirelessly on the transport ships and small attack vessels. She modified engines for speed, reinforced shields, and added automated targeting systems. She smiled faintly as she finished adjustments on a small ship. "They think our ships are simple," she said to a colleague. "They do not know how clever humans can make them." The alien fleet above the planet began its second attack at dawn. Shuttles descended more cautiously this time, scanning for traps. The aliens had learned from the first clash, but they underestimated how humans would adapt again. Alex and Emma monitored the approach, noting the alien patterns. "They expect us to react the same way," Alex said. "Let's give them something they cannot predict." Ben Ward's fleet moved quickly, creating decoy signals and leading part of the alien fleet away from the colony. Small human attack ships struck key systems on alien ships, disabling engines and weapons. The aliens were frustrated. Every move they tried was countered by human strategy. On the ground, Paul Ramirez and his team struck with precision. Alien squads tried to advance, but energy traps slowed them. Turrets disabled vehicles and small human squads disabled critical equipment. Humans did not fight recklessly. They struck where it mattered, then retreated to strong positions. Every move was calculated. Civilians were evacuated safely, guided by volunteers who had become experienced in crisis management. Children clung to parents, while older civilians helped load supplies onto transport ships. No one panicked. Humans acted with purpose and intelligence. Their calmness confused the aliens. Emma Brooks coordinated from the command center. "They are making mistakes," she said. "They are frustrated by our strategy. Every time they try a new approach, we counter it. They cannot predict humans." Alex nodded. "Patience is our weapon. Intelligence is our weapon. Unity is our weapon. Humans do not need brute force to fight effectively." As the battle continued, humans began to take the upper hand in subtle ways. Small alien ships were lured into traps, larger ships were delayed by decoys and strategic attacks, and alien ground squads were slowed by coordinated human resistance. The aliens were strong, but humans were clever. Humans thought ahead, adapted quickly, and worked together seamlessly. Paul Ramirez observed a squad of alien soldiers advancing through a narrow valley. He sent a small team to disable sensors ahead of them, while automated turrets waited behind. When the aliens reached the trap, a pulse disabled their equipment and the humans struck precisely. The aliens retreated in confusion. Paul smiled faintly. Humans did not need to kill every enemy to win. They needed to control the battle, protect civilians, and force the aliens into mistakes. In orbit, Ben Ward watched the alien commanders arguing. "They are slow, frustrated, and making poor decisions," he said. "Humans are controlling the battle without even being seen." Alex received reports from all areas of the planet. The aliens were confused, frustrated, and ineffective. Humans had not just survived, they were beginning to turn the tide. Small victories had been won in every sector. Every decoy, every trap, and every strategic strike had weakened the aliens and protected the humans. Emma added, "The civilians are safe, our defenses are holding, and the aliens are beginning to doubt themselves." Humans do not panic, humans do not quit, and humans do not surrender. That is why we win. On the planet, Paul Ramirez led another team to intercept an alien squad attempting to flank the colony. Humans struck with precision, disabling vehicles and cutting off reinforcements. The aliens were forced to retreat, their strategy failing. Humans did not celebrate loudly. They moved efficiently, repairing defenses and preparing for the next move. Engineer Lisa Moore and her team repaired ships that had taken damage and improved shields on key vessels. "They think technology alone makes them strong," she said. "They do not see the humans behind it. We make our technology work smarter, not just harder." In the command center, Alex and Emma observed the alien fleet. They could see hesitation among the enemy. Alien commanders were arguing, frustrated that humans were patient, clever, and united. Alex smiled faintly. Humans had survived worse, and they would survive this. "We cannot let them regroup completely," Alex said. "We strike carefully and we control the battle. Humans always adapt, and we will use that." Ben Ward's fleet executed precise maneuvers, targeting key systems on alien ships while avoiding direct confrontation. Small human attack ships disabled engines and communications, forcing the aliens into confusion. The humans did not rely on strength alone. They used intelligence, strategy, and patience. On the ground, Paul Ramirez observed alien soldiers trying to coordinate. Humans had anticipated their movements and prepared ambushes. Energy pulses and automated turrets delayed the enemy, while small human squads struck critical targets. Civilians continued to evacuate safely, guided by calm volunteers and trained personnel. Emma Brooks monitored communications, noting the growing confusion among the aliens. "They do not understand humans," she said. "Humans do not fight like other species. Humans are clever, patient, and united. They are unpredictable in ways aliens cannot see." Alex nodded. "That is why we survive. That is why we endure. Humans do not panic, humans do not quit, and humans do not surrender." As the day wore on, the humans gained small but significant victories. Alien forces were delayed, shuttles were disabled, and troops were frustrated. The humans controlled the battle without seeking glory or unnecessary destruction. Every action was calculated, efficient, and focused on protecting life. Paul Ramirez moved through his teams, coordinating defenses and supporting squads. Humans worked seamlessly together, communicating quietly and effectively. The aliens were strong, but humans were clever. Humans adapted, protected each other, and forced mistakes. In orbit, Ben Ward continued to lead diversionary attacks, keeping the alien fleet off balance. Small human ships disabled critical systems, forced errors, and protected the colony. Aliens were confused and frustrated. Humans did not fight recklessly. They used intelligence, patience, and strategy to gain advantage. Alex and Emma watched reports from all areas of the planet. "The aliens are beginning to understand," Alex said. "Humans are not what they expected. Humans are patient, clever, and united. They underestimated our strength." Emma added, "We have not won yet, but we have turned the tide." Humans survive not because they are reckless or strong alone, but because they are clever, patient, and united. That is the power they cannot understand. By evening, the humans rested briefly, repairing equipment, recalibrating defenses, and preparing for the next attack. No one let down their guard completely. Humans were careful but determined. They had survived the first clashes and were beginning to control the battle. Alex spoke into the communicator one last time. "We have slowed them, protected civilians, and forced them into mistakes. Tomorrow we continue. Humans never quit, humans always adapt, and humans always endure." Emma added, "They may have numbers, weapons, and technology, but we have patience, intelligence, and unity. That is why humans survive, and that is why the galaxy will learn to respect us." The alien commanders still above the planet began to realize their mistake. Humans were not weak, fearful, or disorganized. Humans were patient, clever, and united. The first clash had tested the humans, the second had slowed them, and now humans were beginning to control the battle. The Galactic Empire had underestimated humanity, and it was becoming clear that the consequences would be greater than they expected. Humans had faced extinction before. Humans had survived disasters, betrayals, and overwhelming odds. Now they were showing the galaxy why they never gave up, never panicked, and never surrendered. The sun rose over Viridian 5 once again, casting a golden light across the planet. The humans were ready. Commander Alex Carter stood in the command center, observing the alien fleet approaching in full force. This was the moment that would test everything they had prepared. Civilians were safe in transport ships, energy traps were ready, automated turrets were online, and human squads were in position. Patience, intelligence, and coordination would decide the day. Emma Brooks reviewed the final plans. "This is not just defense," she said. "This is a demonstration. They will learn what it means to underestimate humans." Alex nodded. "We have slowed them, confused them, and forced mistakes. Now we strike where it counts. We do not fight recklessly. We fight smart, and we fight together." In orbit, Captain Ben Ward led human fleets through diversionary maneuvers. Alien ships, frustrated by repeated failures, advanced aggressively. Ben's fleet struck key systems on alien command ships, disabling communication arrays and engines. The aliens had thought technology alone would win them the day. Humans were proving them wrong. On the planet, Lieutenant Paul Ramirez moved with his squads. The aliens tried to land in strategic locations, but humans had anticipated their every move. Energy traps, automated turrets, and carefully placed ambushes delayed the alien troops. Humans disabled equipment and forced retreats without unnecessary destruction. Civilians remained safe. Humans were clever, patient, and united. Engineer Lisa Moore oversaw modifications on transport ships and attack vessels. Every ship was optimized for speed, agility, and tactical advantage. "They think we fight like them," she said quietly. "We fight smarter, not stronger. That is what they cannot predict." As the first wave of alien troops advanced toward the colony, humans struck decisively. Energy pulses disabled vehicles, turrets cut off enemy reinforcements, and small squads disabled critical systems. Alien soldiers expected easy victory, but humans were everywhere precise and calm. The aliens hesitated, unsure of the humans' tactics. Alex monitored the battle from the command center. "They think numbers are enough," he said. "They do not understand humans. We are patient, clever, and united. That is why we survive." Emma added, "We have learned their patterns. Every move they make is predictable. Every mistake is ours to use. Humans do not panic, humans do not quit, humans endure." On the planet's surface, Paul Ramirez coordinated squads to protect key areas. Human teams moved with quiet precision, disabling alien technology and forcing retreats. They did not waste effort on unnecessary fighting. Humans were efficient, strategic, and focused on protecting their people. Alien troops were frustrated and confused, facing resistance they had not expected. In orbit, Ben Ward's fleet continued to strike key systems, disable engines, and cut off reinforcements. Alien commanders were frustrated and disorganized. The humans had not only survived, they had gained the advantage. Alex spoke to Emma. "This is the moment we show them the cost of underestimating humans. We act together, strike where it matters, and force them to surrender." Humans survive not because they are reckless, but because they are smart, patient, and united. Emma nodded. "They have technology, numbers, and aggression. We have strategy, intelligence, and courage. That is why we win." As the battle intensified, humans continued to control the pace. Alien shuttles were disabled before landing, troops were forced into traps, and command ships were targeted by precise strikes. The aliens began to retreat, frustrated and unable to adjust. Humans did not chase recklessly. They controlled the battlefield, forcing mistakes and maintaining unity. Paul Ramirez moved through the battlefield, ensuring civilians were safe and squads were effective. Humans worked seamlessly, communicating quietly and efficiently. Every move was deliberate. Every action mattered. The aliens began to realize that their assumptions about human weakness were wrong. Humans were not fragile. Humans were clever, adaptive, and coordinated. Engineer Lisa Moore watched a fleet of transport ships accelerate safely into space, filled with evacuated civilians. She smiled faintly. Humans were not only surviving, they were protecting lives while controlling the battle. Aliens could not understand this approach. Humans did not rely on destruction alone. They relied on intelligence, strategy, and unity. In orbit, Ben Ward prepared for the final strike. Alien command ships had been weakened, engines damaged, and communication disrupted. Humans had not relied on brute force. They had used patience, observation, and precise strikes to force mistakes. Now the aliens were vulnerable. Alex spoke into the communicator. Prepare the final move. We strike together, protect our people, and show them what it means to underestimate humanity. Humans endure, adapt, and survive. Today they learn why. Emma added, every squad, every ship, every person acts as one. Humans are patient, clever, and united. That is our strength. The humans executed their final plan. Small squads disabled critical alien systems, attack ships struck command vessels, and energy traps forced alien troops into retreat. The aliens could not coordinate, could not adapt, and were forced into mistakes at every turn. The humans did not act recklessly. They acted with intelligence, strategy, and unity. Paul Ramirez watched as alien troops tried to advance, only to be stopped by human squads and automated defenses. Civilians remained safe, and humans controlled every aspect of the battlefield. The aliens were overwhelmed not by numbers, but by human patience, cleverness, and coordination. In orbit, Ben Ward struck the final blows against alien command ships. Engines were disabled, communication systems destroyed, and alien fleets forced to retreat. The humans had not sought destruction. They had sought control, strategy, and protection for their people. Now the aliens were beaten, not by sheer force, but by intelligence, patience, and unity. Alex and Emma monitored the battlefield. The alien fleet was in retreat. The humans had not only survived, they had controlled the outcome. Alien commanders had made the mistake of underestimating humans, and now they paid the price. Emma said quietly, they thought we were weak, disorganized, and afraid. They were wrong. Humans survive because we adapt, we endure, and we act together. Alex nodded. They believed numbers and technology were enough. Humans proved that patience, intelligence, and unity are stronger than brute force. Today, humanity has shown its strength. On the planet, Paul Ramirez moved through the squads, ensuring all defensive positions were secure. Humans repaired minor damage, secured transport routes, and prepared for any possible return of alien forces. Humans acted calmly, efficiently, and strategically. The battle was over, but their vigilance remained. Engineer Lisa Moore observed the evacuation of civilians. Ships lifted off smoothly, shields active, and energy fields protecting them. Humans had achieved something the aliens could not understand. Humans had survived, protected their people, and forced the enemy to retreat. The aliens had assumed humans were fragile, but humans had proven otherwise. In orbit, Ben Ward contacted Alex. They are retreating, he said. They have learned the cost of underestimating humans. Alex replied, we have survived, protected our people, and controlled the outcome. Humans endure, humans adapt, and humans survive. That is our strength. Emma added, the galaxy will remember today. Humans do not panic, humans do not quit, and humans do not surrender. That is why we endure. As the alien fleet fled, humans began to rebuild and repair. Civilians returned to the colony under careful guidance. Supplies were distributed, damaged structures repaired, and defensive systems remained ready. Humans had not only survived, they had protected their homes and their people. Paul Ramirez walked among his teams, speaking quietly. We have done what the aliens could not expect. Humans survive because we act together, we protect each other, and we think. Today, we showed the galaxy what it means to underestimate humanity. Engineer Lisa Moore smiled as she watched young volunteers help repair ships. They may have technology and numbers, but humans have intelligence, patience, and unity. That is our real power. In the command center, Alex and Emma observed the planet and the retreating alien fleet. Humans have won this battle, Alex said, not because of brute force, but because of strategy, patience, and courage. Today, humanity has proven its strength to the galaxy. Emma added, the aliens may return, but they will never underestimate humans again. We survive, we adapt, and we endure. That is our greatest power. On Viridian 5, the sun set, casting long shadows over the repaired structures and evacuated colony. Humans had survived, adapted, and won. The aliens had learned a costly lesson. Humanity is not weak. Humanity is patient, clever, and united. The galaxy would never forget this day. Alex spoke to the assembled teams. Today, we have shown what humans can do when we are pushed too far. We protected our people, controlled the battle, and forced the enemy to retreat. Humans endure, humans adapt, and humans survive. Never forget that. Emma added, this is why we will never be underestimated. Our strength is not just weapons or numbers. Our strength is intelligence, patience, unity, and courage. That is what makes us human, and that is why we survive. As the stars appeared in the night sky over Viridian 5, humans celebrated quietly, repaired, and prepared for the future. The battle was over, but the lesson remained. Never underestimate humanity. The alien fleet had fled, but the galaxy had learned a truth it could not ignore. Humans were not fragile. Humans were not reckless. Humans were patient, clever, and united. And when pushed too far, humans could survive, adapt, and turn the tide of war in ways no enemy could predict. Viridian 5 was safe. Civilians were secure. Humans had survived. The galaxy had been warned. And humanity had proven once again why it endures.